One of the biggest mistakes I'm seeing with men is that there's just no standards at all regarding how their women treat them. And this is creating a low level of respect on the woman's side. Why is respect such a huge deal for men? And do you think that women understand your guys' need for respect? Because I know I didn't until a couple of years ago.
A lot of that comes from culture and societal conditioning because women are told to be a challenge, be a little bit difficult, offer them a little bit of a challenge, which often translates to disrespect, pushing back in certain areas, not conceding to things that they really should, that aren't that big of a deal that he's got or that he should have the frame in. For the ladies watching, if there are any, is you cannot disrespect a man. You need to find a way to be useful in his life, and you need to offer him enthusiastic, mind-bending sex that you've never offered to any other guy. If you can do those three things effectively and manage it properly, there's really no reason for him to leave that relationship. Women will bang a guy even if they don't like him, but if they respect him, she'll still bang a guy that she respects, right? But when you lose a woman's respect, you're kind of losing that relationship. It's kind of ending.
So you don't need to, as a woman, respect a man just to have sex with him. But when you're talking about a relationship, especially a long-term relationship, respect is so important for her to maintain that attraction. It's the mental attraction part of it.
Correct.
So you have to have the physical attraction, but the mental attraction that comes through being a man that she can respect is what's going to allow you to run the distance.
And contempt ties in very closely with respect. And contempt is the clock that ticks down to the end of a relationship. If a woman expresses contempt for you as a man, she doesn't respect you. It's the same thing in a business transaction, right? Like if you have a business partnership or somebody that works for you and they express contempt or smugness or something like that, they just don't respect you. You got to get rid of that guy.
You must deal with disrespect immediately. I know that you said that in the book. I completely agree with you there. I will say, though, as a point to the guys, sometimes we don't even know we're being disrespectful. Sometimes the things that one man finds disrespectful, another man might not find disrespectful. Sometimes we think we're being helpful. Sometimes we're pointing out a spot to go park in. For some reason, we don't think you have eyeballs.
These little indignities that stack up, become a snowball, become a giant sort of like landslide after a while. And, if you allow them to happen early on, they will continue. You're gonna basically teach her how to treat you, which is gonna come with some disrespect, and she'll continue to express disrespect, which ties into contempt. And again, contempt is the end of the relationship. If a woman doesn't respect you and expresses contempt, it's pretty much done.
No, I agree. Have you seen that video going around with JD Vance and Erica Kirk? The way that
with her
she's
hand on the
hugging
back
him?
of his head, that one.
Yes. So there's
Yeah.
a big debate about whether that is disrespectful. We can't even agree if a woman grasping another married man's head in an intimate manner is disrespectful or not. For the record, I think it's atrocious and highly disrespectful to his wife. So, what's your thoughts of that whole scenario?
Yeah. So if their families were close, they were friends. I don't really see a problem with the hand placement on the back of his head. She didn't do any. I mean, it's bordering on an area that was, kind of, but I mean, clearly a problem for a lot of people. But if they were very friendly, the Kirk family with the Vance family, and they've known each other for a while, a warm embrace with a hand on the back of the head, I don't really see a problem with something like that.
My husband said that he didn't see anything wrong with it either. And I'm like, you can't touch a man the same way that you touch another woman, even if she embraces another woman that way.
Got it. But
it was
you
super
got to
shady.
understand that JD Vance is a highly respected guy that's climbed the ranks of men around him. He's the vice president. He's the number 2 guy. So it's not that unusual for a woman to sort of express that. You could call it attraction. You could call it like a touch point or whatever it happens to be. But clearly, you would have an issue with it if a woman did that to your husband. He didn't see an issue with it based on the circumstances. But you can understand why women would have an issue with it because it starts to lean towards intimacy. It clearly shows a sign of maybe some level of attraction for him, which is why the women would have an issue with it. Gotcha. I'm also from a European family, so we're very touchy. Like, when you run in a family, there's kisses on the cheeks and that sort of stuff. And, embrace each other. So it really depends on what their upbringing was. If I'm not mistaken, I think Erica Kirk is Eastern European, isn't she?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure she is. You guys can fact check it in the comments, but that might be like her upbringing too, right?
Right. I do know that she hugs. There's pictures of her hugging the same way. Well, just for any of my viewers who happen to be female, don't ever hug my men that way. There's going to be problems. I'm just laying out. There's going to be problems. Let's go